The premise of the movie is set in the year 2154, when the Earth is overpopulated and polluted beyond rehabilitation. Many new diseases have evolved, making half of the population sick. What once used to be beautiful cities have turned into slums. Society has divided into the higher and lower classes, and the financial gap between the two is exponential. The wealthy and powerful people have created their own new place to live, far away from the poor. They live in a space station that lies on the Earth's orbit called the Elysium. Elysium is a utopian city with no sadness or sickness. It has all kinds of luxurious resources, and among them, the most important is the facility of Med Bay. Med Bays are privately owned medical chambers that can instantly heal any disease known to humanity, or any form of physical injury. While life on Elysium is magical, life on the Earth is the exact opposite. People are governed by mindless robots police who beat them in the name of the zero-tolerance policy. At the beginning of the movie, a little boy named Max da Costa and his friend Fry Santiago read the stories about Elysium and its lavish life. Max promises Fry that he will take her to the Elysium one day. The little boy lives in an orphanage that is run by a nun whom he loves a lot. His ambition in life is to visit the Elysium one day. However, many years later, Max has grown up to be a criminal. He and Fry have lost contact while his mother-like nun is no more. Max is trying to recover from his criminal past and is doing a normal job at Armadine Corporation, a factory where weaponry for Elysium and robots police are manufactured. One day while going to work, some robot police approach Max and break his wrist for being disobedient. He goes to the hospital and is surprised to see his old friend Fry, who has grown up to be a nurse. The two catch up while Fry treats Max's injuries. Max tries to ask her out, but she leaves to tend to another patient before he can. We see that the hospital is packed with people, which is considered normal because of the overpopulation and diseases. Max then goes to his work, where half of his pay is deducted for being late. The CEO of the Armadine Corporation is a resident of Elysium named John Carlyle. He stays on Earth to look after the factories and only cares for the company's profit. He has no sympathy for his workers' problems at all. A criminal named Spider has formulated an illegal immigration operating system for the people on the Earth to enter Elysium. But the process is very risky as only some who depart make it to the Elysium without harm. First, they acquire the Elysium identification brands on their wrist, which allows them to access any facility on Elysium. After that, the people board 3 rustic-looking spaceships and head for the space station. As the ships get closer, the Defense Secretary of Elysium, Jessica Delacourt, is alerted about the breach. She contacts CM Kruger, a rogue sleeper agent and her right-hand man on Earth. Kruger immediately obeys Jessica's orders and fires an air missile launcher to the ships. 2 of them get shot, but the missile misses the 3rd ship. In the 2 ships that are destroyed, 46 people are killed. Fortunately, the last ship lands on Elysium. However, before the people aboard the ship can run away, Jessica orders the guards to apprehend everyone in it. The police choppers and robots chase the Earthers and arrest them. The only 2 people able to make it to a med bay are a mother and her sick daughter. The daughter is healed in the med bay because of her identification band. When she gets out of the machine, the mother is delighted to see that she can walk properly. Right then, the robot police attest the 2. The Earthers who resist are killed while the others are deported back to the Earth. Back on Earth, Max is at his work when a door at his workstation jams. His supervisor asks him to go inside to fix it, even though it is extremely dangerous. Max obliges, but as he goes inside, the door shuts closed and he is blasted with a wave of lethal radiation. A while later, he is dragged from the chamber and sent to a medical unit. He is then told by another robot that he will soon experience catastrophic organ failure and has only 5 days to live. CEO John sees Max lying on a bed but cares more about the bedding being ruined than Max's health. A robot gives Max some pills to help him with the pain and will keep him physically functional until he dies. Right after the last mission, Jessica is summoned by Patel, the president of Elysium. He isn't fond of Jessica's methods and doesn't support the irresponsible killing of people. But Jessica claps back by saying that she won't allow the homes of their future children, Elysium, to be raided by the Earthers. Patel, however, threatens Jessica to fire her if she causes more casualties and orders her to stop using Kruger immediately. Back on the Earth, Kruger is told to return all his weapons because his service isn't needed anymore. He is enraged and feels betrayed by Jessica. Meanwhile, Max's criminal friend Julio sees him limping back from work and goes to help him. After Julio helps him to take his medicines, Max asks him to find Spider, He is now desperate to go to Elysium as soon as possible and use the medbay to heal himself. Max and Julio go to meet Spider and ask him to send Max to Elysium in turn for a favor Max did to him 3 years ago. Spider, on the other hand, offers him a task to plug into the brain of one of Elysium's high-ranking officials and obtain passcodes and other secret data. Spider wants to use the information to acquire money from the official's bank account. If Max can do that, Spider will make sure Max gets to Elysium and gets his treatment. Max has no other way to save his life, so he accepts the offer. It turns out the high-ranking official that Max has to get the information from is John, the man who cared about bedsheets more than Max's life. However, Spider knows that Max cannot fulfill his mission in his physical condition. So, he performs a procedure on him to attach a third-generation powered exoskeleton to his body and connect a neural chip to his brain. The exoskeleton gives Max the strength that is equal to a police robot. In the following scene, we see CEO John meet Jessica, who is fed up with the president's ideologies. She wants John to reboot and override Elysium's computer core and reinstate her as the new president. John agrees to do the job and goes back to the Earth to reboot the computer program as per her demand. He also programs a denial system that would kill anyone attempting to download data from his brain. He then boards a shuttle for a flight to Elysium, but the shuttle is shot by Max and his team before it can leave Earth. They find the CEO and are about to extract the required information from him, but a droid confronts them and a shootout ensues. John is shot in the process. They manage to defeat the droid and get the required information from John's brain. Jessica is altered about John's situation, and she immediately sends Kruger to get the people who attacked John. Kruger and his men arrive at the location and start firing at Max and his team. All of his teammates, including his best friend Julio, are killed, but Max manages to flee from the scene. Jessica is now stressed knowing that someone has access to her top-secret mission to overthrow the president. She jams all the signals in the area so no other spaceships can leave. Meanwhile, Kruger also gets his hands on the data that was extracted from John's brain. He realizes the data is actually Jessica's secret program and encourages his men to retrieve more of it, presumably for his own benefit. In the meantime, a heavily injured Max goes to ask for help from Fry. She brings him to her house and dresses his wounds. He wakes up the following day to see a little girl in front of him. It turns out that she is Frey's daughter, who is ill from leukemia and has very little time to live. Fry asks Max to take her to Elysium, but Max claims that he is being pursued by very dangerous people, and if they are associated with him, they will be killed too. After he leaves, Kruger and his men arrive looking for Max. They take Fry and her little daughter hostage when they find out Max was treated there the previous night. After a while, Max goes to Spider with the code he retrieved from John's brain, but is disappointed to find that all air spaces have been jammed by Jessica. This means that Spider cannot keep his end of the offer, and Max cannot be sent to Elysium. Spider goes to the code in Max's brain, and is beyond surprised to see that it is code to reset and reboot the whole Elysium. If they can manage to rewrite the codes and make everyone the citizen of Elysium, all humans could enjoy the medbay facility, leaving no more diseases in the world. Spider tries to convince Max to wait until they can override Elysium's system, which might take 5 days. But with hours to live, Max wants to sell the data to Jessica in turn for a chance to use the medbay and save his life. Max realizes that Kruger needs him alive, so when he comes to get him, Max simply turns himself in. Inside Kruger's ship, he is surprised to see Fry and her daughter abducted. Kruger tells Jessica about them finding the code, and Jessica lifts the airspace jam, allowing Kruger's ship with Fry, her daughter, and Max to come to Elysium. This also gives Spider and his men a chance to pursue Max. They get into a spaceship with the intention of finding Max and using the code for the benefit of humanity. Back in Kruger's ship, he misbehaves with Fry, which angers Max. As Max retaliates, their little argument turns big and a shootout occurs inside the ship. Max throws a grenade at Kruger, blowing half of his face off. The ship's control system is damaged, and it crashes onto a lavish house in Elysium. Jessica orders for everyone aboard the ship to be brought to her. Fry brings her daughter out of the destroyed ship and goes inside the nearest house looking for a medbay. She finds one and tries to use it on her daughter, but it doesn't work since she doesn't have citizenship. The guards eventually catch all of them and take them to Jessica. Kruger's men put Kruger in a medbay and fix his face. Meanwhile, Jessica puts Max on a machine to extract all the information from his head, but the extraction is sure to kill him. She asks her men to go ahead with it because Max's life is worth nothing to her. After Jessica leaves, Kruger's men take Fry and her daughter back. The doctors are about to extract the information from Max's brain and kill him, but he manages to free himself in time. At the same time, Jessica belittles Kruger for crashing his spaceship and threatening the life of Elysium's citizens. As she insults him, an enraged Kruger stabs her in the neck. He plans to rewrite the code and make himself the president of Elysium. Kruger's men set off to kill all the politicians in the facility, while he goes to rewrite the code. Meanwhile, Spider and his men also land on Elysium looking for Max. They are in the facility tracking his location. Max, on the other hand, is looking for Fry when he sees that Spider is in the facility through a screen. He contacts him and tells him to go forward with the plan of making everyone Elysium citizen, and thus eradicating all diseases from the Earth. Max then rescues Fry and meets Spider at the same time. He sends Fry to the nearest medbay and asks her to wait until they recode everyone as Elysium's citizens so her daughter can be healed. After that, Max, along with Spider, make their way to recode the system but are caught by Kruger on the way. Max and Kruger get into an intense fight, but Max is easily overpowered. However, the course of the fight changes when Max manages to take off Kruger's neural chip and thus dismantling his whole system. After defeating him, Max and Spider get to the mainframe and get ready to extract the code from Max's brain. However, since CEO John had coded that anyone who extracts the code would be killed, the only way to save everyone else in the world is for Max to die. In his limited time, Max calls Fry and tells her that he had kept the promise he made to her when they were little. He then looks at the Earth and compares it to a locket his nun caretaker had given her way back. After the emotional moment, he presses the button to reboot Elysium's system and kills himself in the process. The system then registers every human as a citizen. Freya's daughter is healed in the medbay. Meanwhile, many ships are sent to the Earth with medbays to help people recover from diseases and injuries. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications. Thank you for watching.